Isn't the best part of any road trip all about the yummy snacks? As people who have taken a few road trips in our time, I feel like we're kind of experts in this field. We took a trip to Destin, Florida, and we talked all about it and showed you an overview over here. But today I wanted to focus on all of the snacks that I packed and prepared for our road trip. So if you want to spy on our snacks, then keep on watching. What's up, universe? It's Julie, your kitchen coach, and welcome back to our channel. And in case you're new, I'm a trained chef who's passionate about helping beginner cooks gain confidence in the kitchen. And maybe that's why I wanted to share today what I prepared and packed for our road trip. Maybe it'll give you some inspiration. One thing I do know by traveling a lot cross country is that if you go long distance, even though it seems fun to get a lot of junky snacks, I mean, some of them are fun, so it's kind of nice to have a mix. Mostly, if you go a long distance, you're gonna actually crave healthier snacks, because if you eat junky snacks, then you're gonna start to feel sluggish, lethargic, and even more uncomfortable. You know, I originally wanted to prepare more snacks in the morning or like food, but I didn't have time. So I had to use what I had on hand, like things that I was just gonna take on a road trip anyway. So it was like saltine crackers and salami, sliced cheese, grapes, carrots, grape tomatoes. And then I bought this really funny thing from Costco, which were these pre-boiled eggs. Now, normally I'm not all about cheating like that, but I was like, this could be very convenient and I can actually take it with us on a road trip, because where am I gonna boil eggs while on the road? And it ended up being like one of my best purchases, to the point where I might purchase it again, even though we ate all those eggs up. It's like super easy way to get protein into you. So for my little Lunchable box, I put everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's on top, and it worked perfectly. So I packed them in these like to-go containers that I had saved from like takeout food from before, and it worked great. I just used cupcake liners to line all these other elements to keep them separate. That's all I had, but it worked out fine. We would have started out earlier, but we did have a later start. So I was like, I don't know if it's supposed to be breakfast or brunch. We're eating in the car. We're eating a simple peanut butter and Nutella sandwich, and we're probably gonna stop by for some coffee for a treat.
Not for me.
Then we stopped by Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee. And then I bought one little small pack of hash browns because I feel like you need a little bit something fun. So Lincoln liked that, and we were all just kind of sharing one pack of hash browns. After a couple hours, we decided to eat our first snack, which I bought these puffed wheat snack crackers called bongtugi from a Korean grocery store. And this is just like a childhood favorite. If you're a Korean, you probably grew up eating this, and especially on road trips, because they're very light and crispy and airy. If you look at the ingredients, it's like 2 or 3 ingredients. It's like wheat and salt. And it's weird because I always thought there was sugar in it because it's sweet. I don't know how they do that. And I always thought it was puffed rice, but the ingredients say wheat, so that's new to me. They look like moons when you're a kid. You're like, I'm biting into the moon. And it's fun because it lasts you a long time. I used to cut out like little eyes and a face when I was a kid and put it like a mask. It's just a fun activity, and it's funny because even though Lincoln's not used to eating it, as soon as I gave him one, he did the same exact thing, and it was funny to watch that. But that's a really good snack to take because it's healthy and light, keeps your mouth busy, but it won't weigh you down. And then later it was lunchtime, so I pulled out my little homemade Lunchables. I had kept it in a cooler bag. I kept it in the middle aisle so that I can grab it easily. And so I kept our Lunchables in there, and Lincoln's was a little bit different than ours because he doesn't like grape tomatoes or eggs. And I was afraid he wouldn't like it because he never had Lunchables before. He's not a cracker person. He's not a sandwich person, but he does like all of these elements separately. Lincoln, do you like your lunch? Yeah. This is the grown-ups Lunchables, and it's all snackable so that it's easy for us to eat in the car, especially for the driver. So I was trying to be mindful of that. So you just keep on your lap and just pick on things. I was actually surprised to see him making his own little cracker sandwiches, because I'm like, did he learn this in school? Because I sure didn't teach this to him, but he really liked it, and it kept him super busy for a long time. Lincoln, what do you think? Is it good? Your cracker sandwich with your cheese and salami? That's a really cute sandwich that you made there, bud. And then Joe was eating it easily too, because I wanted to think about like what's snackable or easy for him to grab with one hand. And you know what? Sandwiches would have been easy too, and I know a lot of people do that, but honestly, I'm not a huge sandwich person. I don't know what it is, but I did pack bread, which came in handy later that day. And these are good little like lunchy, snacky types of foods that we can just eat on the road, so we don't have to stop by and waste time stopping to eat at a rest stop. Do you like your Lunchable snack?
Great job, Mommy.
Eventually, a few hours in, we did stop by for a Starbucks pick-me-up. We got iced vanilla lattes. And I felt like that was the only thing we really spent our money on, which was coffees. Cheers to the almost midway point for today. Later on at night, we were traveling for so long that we only stopped at a Walmart. And I thought maybe at the Walmart there'd be something to pick up, but they had closed their like food and deli and prepared food section already by that time. I think it was probably like closer to 8. And then I was like, I don't know what to get. I don't want to stop again. I don't want to get fast food or burgers. So I had pulled out my loaf of bread that I mentioned before, but it had been squished. So there wasn't really much at Walmart we could get because all the deli stuff was closed. So I just whipped up a roast beef sandwich inside the car. So good thing I grabbed some bread and deli meat before we left. So that's what we're gonna eat, and we're gonna have probably some Clementines afterwards. Some Pirate's Booty, apple chips. Just kind of like makeshift eat it. It's like no frills. I just made it while in the back seat of the car. There's like no condiments on it. This is like the saddest squished looking bread sandwich, but I mean, this is what you get from Chef Yoon. I did bring some condiments and pickles and other things like that, but I didn't feel like pulling any of that out because it's like in the cooler. So I just got bread and roast beef, squished bread, mind you. I mean, it was probably like the worst dinner we had. And then naked juice, I have a bunch of these. So Lincoln's having strawberry banana. And this will be dinner. We make it to our hotel in Tennessee. It's our pit stop, and then I luckily have a kitchen in the hotel, so like of the full-size fridge, so I was able to unload the cooler, and Lincoln helped me. Oh yay. I'm excited I can refreeze my ice things. Whoops.
Why there's ice frozen together?
Because I want to keep everything cold. Don't eat it, okay? It's dirty ice now. Thank you. All right, thank you. Teamwork makes the
Dream one.
and you can get a little glimpse of what was in our cooler and what was in like the box that I brought. I had probably like 2 or 3 of these plastic bins full of some sort of food, utensils, things to prepare food. I mean, I even had things like fresh avocados. I mean, this is stuff that was about to go bad in our house. I was just like bringing everything. I had a bag of apples, a jar of peanut butter, obviously the loaf of bread, yogurts for Lincoln, chocolate milk, pickles. You'll see more of that later. I even had our own bottle of sriracha and full-size coffee creamer. The next morning, Joe went downstairs to check out the grab-and-go breakfast option. And Joe went downstairs and picked up some breakfast sandwich, you know, like the microwave kind. It's kind of cold, right, in the middle? Not yours? Oh, mine was. I have to microwave mine again. And I actually brought our own coffee creamer. So he just got some black coffee. Lincoln's eating breakfast in bed. Chocolate croissant I bought from Costco. And then I used that opportunity in the morning to use the kitchen and make these bento boxes. And I pulled out Spam, my rice, which was microwavable. And these things are so convenient. If you don't know about them, they're awesome. Take like a minute and a half to microwave. I also cut up baby carrots, and I was thinking, should I put it in raw? But I'm like, maybe I'll saute them. By the time I thought about doing that, I looked around. I was expecting the kitchenette to have like these pans, like frying pans, cooking oil, but it didn't really have anything. So I just used a pot and some water, and I just seasoned it later. It didn't turn out the best. Even the Spam was like sticking to the pot because it was just like not the right material, and the heat from the stove was so weak. But I made do. And then in the bento boxes, I decided to use Grillo's pickles because I heard good things about it. I had never tried it at that point, but everyone talks about it. They're from Costco. They're these fresh pickles. And then also the seaweed salad, which I was really surprised about that they had at Costco. I was like, whoa, that's super cool because, you know, it's common to me, but I was surprised it was like mainstream, right? But I realized because there's a lot more poke bowls and things like that out there, I thought that would be a great little thing to eat on the side with rice. If you are interested in seeing things like this, like what I get from Costco, let me know in the comments below if you would like to go shopping with me and see another Costco haul the next time I'm there, because I'm probably gonna have to go Costco shopping soon. I also brought with me this like Japanese seasoning. It has like seaweed, like nori, and sesame seeds. It's like seasoned and you can put on top of your rice. So I did that for some flavor. And then I cut up the eggs and I had some like avocado on the side. So I put some of those elements separately and kept them into cooler bags. And I put like the rice and the Spam like at room temperature outside of the cooler bag. And then I decided that in the car, I would probably just assemble them together. So we were back on the road and we started out by just like eating a snack. And I pulled out this weird snack that's kind of like chipa. If you're Korean, then it's like this dried fish, which is a snack. And it's like super good. You put it over like a flame, sometimes you toast it. And that's what I thought it was gonna be more like, but it was more like a freeze-dried cracker version of that, which I've never seen before. What in the world is that? I don't know. It was Mommy's first time trying it too. It looks like crackers. You wanna try a piece? It's like a cracker jerky.
Yeah.
Try it, see if Lincoln likes it. Oh, it's crunchy. What do you think? It was on sale. I gave it a try. At first, we all thought it was cool. Like Lincoln ate it, Joe ate it. We were all like, oh, it's okay, it has good flavor. Because you know, chipa has like a sweet and savory umami taste. So it's kind of like beef jerky. It's really easy to like. But this one, it has that taste and then all of a sudden the texture gets you. It's like crumbly and crackery.
But I feel like it should be
Chewy,
chewy.
but it's not. Interesting. Okay, I'll try it. It was a little weird. It was like a chipa matzo cracker. So I don't know. It was on sale, but now I can see why it was on sale. That was not a win. We went back to the puffed wheat crackers.
It's a food cracker. It's a food cracker.
And then eventually it was time for lunch. So I was originally sitting in the back seat with Lincoln. And that was a mistake because I started getting super car sick while I was like helping him with his activities. And then as I pulled out the bento boxes, I was like assembling them, you know, like putting the cold ingredients in with the room temperature ingredients and assembling each thing. I started getting really dizzy and car sick to the point of being nauseous, and then I couldn't even eat it. So I think I like picked at it and I barely ate it. And then unfortunately, Lincoln was the same way. He kind of was like not hungry, not feeling it, not into the food, so he barely ate it too. I was thinking, oh man, I totally regret this. Like it would have been nice in theory to just bring that, but I'm like, man, I should have just gotten fast food. I think Joe was the only one who ate it. He ate almost all of it too, which I was surprised at. I don't know how he did that, driving one-handed and still like eating all those elements. Eventually I moved to the front seat again because I was too car sick, and that's when I bust out the Clementines to make me feel better. And man, these were the best Clementines ever. I had just gotten them from Walmart. They were like the sweetest candy-like Clementines I ever had. And so we were just like gorging on them. We were just like eating Clementine after Clementine, all three of us. Later on, we switched over to dried mango from Costco. This is one of Joe's favorite snacks. You know, he's a sweet tooth, he loves fruit. These are good and they're not overly sweet. So we ate them, but Lincoln tried it and he was not a fan. He just did not like the texture or the taste of it. And then later we switched over to beef and cheddar links, and they're not the healthiest thing, but I don't know. I guess when I was at Costco, like it looked good to me. And I was like, oh, like Lincoln might like the cheese and maybe the meat stick is not too hot. But it was a little bit spicy, like kind of peppery. So he wasn't into that. He just liked the cheese stick. So that was a nice little like protein pick me up. What do you think?
Not bad.
It's like a pepperoni stick. These do have to be kept refrigerated. So I had them refrigerated in our hotel. Eventually, if there was no refrigerator, I had them in like a cooler full of ice. We made it to Florida, but it was really late by the time we got there. I ended up having to cook in the hotel room, and we ate cup noodles, okay? So, like, honestly though, even though the restaurants were closed, I was kind of thankful because, like, there's nothing better than, like, eating, like, spicy, hot ramen when you get to, like, a location if you've been traveling for a long time, and it was really good. We made it to Florida. This is our makeshift kitchen for the trip. And we tried to go get Thai food, but everything's closed because it was like 8:30 by the time we got here, and it's a beachy town. So we are just makeshifting dinner with cup noodles.
I'm twirling.
Lincoln's having a blast. I'm using our leftover lunch we didn't finish to makeshift, some eggs and spam into our cup noodles. I made that for us, and Lincoln really wanted japaghetti. I asked him, do you want japaghetti or do you want macaroni and cheese? And he wanted japaghetti. So I was like, okay. So I made two separate things. We ended up eating like the leftovers that we didn't eat for lunch. And there was some random pickles, like tomatoes. I actually brought this water kettle with us. So boiled water. There's a microwave and a small mini fridge, and surprisingly, most of our stuff fits in the mini fridge. So I'm just gonna put like drinks and things in the cooler, like waters and stuff. And we can have pickles with this instead of kimchi. So we ended up eating that, plopping ourselves at the desk at the hotel because there's nowhere else to really sit and eat. How is it?
Good.
Yay, and you can eat some apples too. And I have some leftover fruits and veggies and riffraff that we had from lunch. So we're just gonna pick at everything. And this is our ramen that's brewing away. So this will be our kitchen and dining room for the next 3 days because there's no little nook or coffee table or couch. And my little kitchen area, I brought my water kettle. So put it over here, coffee maker, microwave, and fridge, but that's all I need. If I need overstock, I'll just put it in here with some ice. The ice vending machine's right next door, and I'm setting up my dishwashing station by the bathroom over here. Lincoln wanted to show you how well he eats with his chopsticks. Whoa, good job, bud. Let's see if my ramen's done. There's nothing better than cup noodles, spicy, after traveling for a long time on the road.
Got some spam here. Noodle or egg.
What in the world is that? What in the world was that?
Ah, that MSG. Excellent. That's the spot.
Yep. And I'll touch base a little bit more in a following video about our Florida eats. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when that video comes out next on this channel. We honestly ended up just sitting at the desk because there was no actual table to sit at, like crunched together. There was no real seating to sit at either. So Lincoln was in the office desk chair. I was on the ottoman and the footstool, and Joe was sitting on the one random lounge chair they had. And then we were just watching, Lincoln watching his iPad and zoning out, and we were watching TV, Food Network, and zoning out because we were so tired. I don't think we wanted to talk or do anything. We just wanted to eat in peace. And even though it was not healthy, it was just so good and satisfying to eat that hot spicy soup. Well, so then we went through a whole trip to Florida, and remember to watch our video to see what we did in Florida. Give that a watch. But I mean, there was beach and sand and sun and water, and it was awesome. On our road trip back home after our Florida vacation, we ate lunch before we left, our last meal in Florida, and it was good. It was seafood, and so then we were full, and we decided let's just at least get Starbucks. And man, that Starbucks was one of the best Starbucks I had in a while. You know why? Because our whole Florida trip while we were at the hotel, we were pretty much just drinking hotel coffee, what they provided, or even Maxim, which these little Korean instant coffees. I had brought my hot water kettle and used it the whole time. So that was actually helpful. On our way to Nashville, we did, on our way home, we did another round of the same snacks that we did before, the wheat crackers and the Clementines. I think by then we had already finished our Clementines, so I had stopped by a Walmart along the way and bought another bag. I did a lot of peeled apples. So basically we almost finished that whole entire bag of apples on our road trip and in the hotel too. The grapes. It was very nice to have fresh fruits with us. We ended up stopping by Chipotle for dinner and not eating there, but eating on the road because we didn't want to waste time. We were already so behind, it was late. We stopped by Chipotle for our rest stop for dinner to use the bathroom and to get a hot meal. And because Lincoln has been craving beans and rice, Chipotle since yesterday, and there was no Chipotle in sight. And in Florida, there was no Chipotle where we were anywhere near us or even along the way. So I purposely mapped out a Chipotle, but it was funny because it ended up being one where we were about to kind of take a stop anyway. And he was watching his DVD player or iPad so that he could have some light. It was like kind of dark. And then we had stopped by one other place. This was like our only like fast food stop. We stopped by Arby's because there was like an emergency pee-pee situation for Lincoln. And I ended up buying like a fries. So I saved that fries box, a curly fries box, right? And I used it to fashion a little burrito holder for Joe. So we got a burrito so it'd be easier for him to eat on the road. But then I put it in the fry box and then over the little bowl so that it would kind of be sturdier and easier for him to eat. And every time he needed to take more bites, he gave it back to me, and it was kind of like those push pops where I was just like pushing it up. And that's how he ate his burrito on the road in the dark, driving one-handed. So we make it to our Nashville hotel. Then for breakfast, I think we just ate yogurts in the hotel that I had brought. And then we ended up going to Hattie B's for the famous Nashville hot fried chicken. So then when we were hitting the road after that, we didn't have to take care of breakfast or lunch, so we were just eating snacks again. From Costco, there's this Korean pork jerky. It's not even beef. And like, it's kind of red, and Korean pork is normally spicy. It's like marinated in a gochujang sauce. I thought it might be that. So I thought, oh, this is probably gonna be spicy. But I tasted it and it wasn't spicy. I guess Joe, that sneeze was so loud. I totally got thrown off because Joe's home and he just sneezed like so loudly. And so then I pulled that out. It ended up being Lincoln's favorite snack. I was so surprised. That boy was eating so much pork jerky. He kept asking for more. So yeah, give it a try. It's kid friendly. If you haven't tried it, it's so good. Dinner ended up being late again. You guys see a theme here. We're just like running late this whole trip everywhere. And we had stopped by for gas, and we were stopped by Walmart. We stopped by a lot of Walmarts during this trip, by the way, so you'll see it in our other video. But like, we stopped by Walmart and there was no food again, so we saw there was a Panda Express. We're waiting in line for Starbucks and eating Panda Express, and we always lose track of time when we're on the road, and so Panda Express was about to close. It was like the last of the barrel, but we were able to get, you know, something for Lincoln that he's enjoying, eating his kids' meal, white rice and like sesame chicken, a little bit of the chow mein noodles. Joe wasn't hungry, but he's just eating because this line is so long. And then I got like chicken and mushroom. It was like the last of the barrel. But anytime we went to a Starbucks, whenever we were traveling, the line was extremely long. It would take us like 30 minutes. We'd be like off course by 30 minutes, and this was no exception. And it was like 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time at this point. We're like, why is everyone drinking coffee at 9 o'clock p.m.? I mean, we are too. So I'm like, hopefully they're all road trippers like us, because that's kind of weird. So Joe wasn't even hungry, but he just started eating in the line because there was nothing to do. I really recommend, if you're going on a long road trip or even staying in a hotel, to get fresh fruits and vegetables. And I think that will help a lot instead of just getting like chips and crackers and sweets. And if you notice, we actually didn't really take a lot of sweets. Like I didn't pack any candies or chocolates or cookies. There were a couple of boxes and bags of like little junky foods that I ended up packing. Like I opened one bag of like honey twists, like these Korean honey twist cracker snacks are like sweet that Joe likes. So 14 hours there, 14 hours back. There were no meltdowns, and I really felt like it was a fun trip. And I think the snacks, the food, and the activities were like a good combination. So there was some preparation involved. So if you were interested in this video, you might be interested in that one, the activities we did to keep him occupied. I think it did help that I researched a little bit. By watching videos similar to this one, getting inspiration from other vloggers and bloggers and looking it up, and also just utilizing what I had. I didn't go out and buy too many like new things for the trip. It was just mostly things that I already had in our pantry, wanted to eat down from our fridge, which is why I brought like fresh avocados with me, things like that. I ended up trying to eat up the fresh items as much as possible, but inevitably we did bring some of it back. So for next time, I won't go that nuts and like pack so many things. I think I was scared because of COVID, because of the travel. In my mind, I thought 1 week was just like so much, but it's almost like I didn't account for the fact that we'd be eating out or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you were inspired by any of the snacks that I packed and showed, and also let me know what you like to pack, what you like to eat when you're on the road. What are your favorite items? Remember to push like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you know when our next video is gonna come out or any videos like this are gonna come out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.